There are currents in life that most will pass by, unaware that a quiet invitation is being extended, one that only a few will perceive. This is not about a spectacle in the sky. This is the final moment of stillness before a deep, internal shift finds its fullest expression. An ancient wisdom, one that has guided countless journeys of the soul, is accessible once more. That same profound potential is moving above you and within you. You have already sensed it. The sudden moments of peace, the strange flow of events, the quiet desire to withdraw from all that no longer resonates with your spirit. That is not confusion. That is the inner doorway opening. Before we proceed, take a quiet breath and with a simple, clear intention, affirm, I am ready to rise. This act anchors the new perspective into your being. During this period of transformation, the world within does not stand still. It moves like a river finding its true course. The mind aligns with deeper insight, clearing away old emotional patterns so the path forward becomes clear and defined. These are not random fluctuations. This inner movement is what builds the bridge toward a more authentic state of being. We are crossing into a space of profound heart-centered awareness. The light of understanding activates a strength that calls you to claim full sovereignty over your own life's journey. Ancient teachings speak of an inner sun, a source of light beyond ordinary perception, which now feels closer than ever, and woven through it all is the principle of infinite renewal. This cycle represents strength, rebirth, and a sacred momentum forward. When this is felt deeply, its current amplifies. This window of opportunity is more than a fleeting feeling. It holds the weight of deep inner change. Your own awareness is speaking to you in the language of destiny. Your spirit has been quietly observing your shifts. During recent moments of introspection, it didn't reflect confusion. It mirrored a profound clarity, not the kind you analyze with the mind, the kind that reshapes your inner world without asking for your logic. Something sharp and clear in your awareness keeps cutting through distractions. Old ways of being no longer hold the same power. Thoughts that once played on a loop now sound foreign. This isn't a breakdown. It is a return to your natural state. The wise ones of old didn't revere nature out of mere superstition. They understood that certain cycles tune the human spirit like a fine instrument. And when your inner world aligns with this flow, the signal is unmistakable. Your deeper self listens even when your conscious mind is busy. Your very essence doesn't question this process. It responds. You might have noticed it in small ways at first. Certain people quietly drifted from your life. Some pathways closed without a sound. And then, a moment arrived when your own reflection in the mirror held a different depth. Not a sense of loss, but of restoration. The parts of you built for mere survival are falling away. What remains is your authentic self. During this passage, your being becomes more like a clear channel than a container for old stories. This clarity is not poetry, it is a tangible experience. Your intuition begins to translate it into instinct. That means less overthinking and more deep alignment, less striving to prove and more simply becoming. Your path is no longer a random walk, and the people still in your circle are the ones who can resonate with the person you are becoming. Everyone else was a part of the training ground. You did not miss the call. You were the call. You are not here to chase after a different life. You are here to anchor a new way of being. Your ancestors understood how to read the patterns of life. You have simply remembered how to interpret the patterns within your own heart. This is why this deepening matters. Not to escape from the world, but to walk through it with a newfound presence. This powerful season of change doesn't arrive like an ordinary day. It arrives like a deep inner signal, and some part of you has already received it, long before your mind gave it a name. Not in your thoughts, but in a tension you could not explain, in glimpses of knowing that felt older than this lifetime, in a weariness that sleep could never quite mend. Sudden waves of energy move through you, intense, emotional, vibrant, and then complete stillness, a silence so profound it seems to have its own sound. This is not collapse, it is a deep reattunement, a profound clearing of the inner noise. you didn't even know you were carrying. It is not your body failing you. It is the static finally leaving the system. For hours or even days, nothing seems to fully register. Hunger may come and go in strange waves. Words may lose their usual meaning. People may speak to you, but something in their voice sounds distant. You are not drifting away from the world. You are simply tuning into a different current of awareness than the one they are on. That sense of inner resonance, that is not random. It is your system adjusting its own receptivity to a new understanding. You do not need to make it stop. You are not breaking apart. You are becoming fluent in a new, inner language. One moment your emotions are sharp and raw. Then comes the quiet. It is not numbness, nor is it apathy. It is a kind of inner stillness that knows far too much to need words. Do not rush to label it. Allow it to be unfamiliar. That is where the genuine transformation begins. Some nights you will not want to speak to anyone. You will crave solitude, not from loneliness, but from a need for clarity. Your old ways of being need this quiet to complete their letting go. You are not withdrawing. You are recentering. And then there is the feeling of growth, not physical in the usual sense, more like a deep, internal expansion. It is pulling you beyond the limitations you have outgrown. You do not need to revisit the person you were before this began. There is no map for this part of the journey, no instruction manual. There is only the raw, direct awareness that nothing feels quite the way it used to, and that is precisely how you know it is working. This change doesn't always appear as turmoil. Sometimes it arrives quietly, an old piece of music, a forgotten memory, a look from a stranger that unlocks a part of you that you thought was long gone. The feeling surfaces before the thought, and the feeling, it feels deeper than just this lifetime. These days do not push you, they pull you. They pull you inward, into the spaces within yourself you may have avoided, into the places where your truest self resides, not the story you tell others, but the one you feel in the stillness of your own heart. You might find yourself responding to things in ways that feel new to you. This is not an overreaction. It is an unveiling. These triggers are not always your enemies. Sometimes they are invitations to a deeper truth. What is surfacing now has deep roots. And those roots were not planted yesterday. You are not unraveling. You are removing a mask. This season of change is not here to make you impressive. It is here to make you honest. Beneath the noise, beneath the roles you have played, beneath the identities you have worn for so long, there is a deep yearning for reconciliation. Not with the world, but with yourself. Ancient wisdom teaches that our shadow is often our greatest guide toward the light. But no one tells you how loud the inner world can become before it grows quiet, how uncomfortable it feels before it softens. The process of becoming whole is not always gentle. Sometimes it demands silence. Sometimes it removes every single distraction, so the true lesson has room to be heard. The part of you that keeps returning to the same pattern, the same fear, the same inner dialogue, that is not a failure. That is your own deep wisdom pointing to the one lesson you keep trying to skip. And now, that lesson is illuminated. You can no longer pretend not to see it. This is not your past chasing you. This is the moment where you finally meet the version of yourself you once left behind, because it was easier to pretend you didn't care than to admit you always have. The inner light does not always soothe. Sometimes it stirs, especially when it is infused with the kind of profound shift that is occurring now. The kind that does not ask for permission. It does not arrive tentatively. It arrives with full presence, as if it already knows which part of you is ready to awaken next. This is not a restart. It is a deep inner reordering. Who you have been is no longer the complete story. And your very being knows this. You may find yourself drawn toward unfamiliar practices, moments of strange clarity, or a courage that surprises even you. Some parts of yourself have never been met with this kind of awareness before. Not the soft, gentle kind, but the activating, clarifying kind. The change happening within you has no concern for outward trends. It does not wait for external validation. It operates on a natural, cosmic rhythm, and you are finally in sync with it. There is no going back to sleepwalking through your own life. The old, fragmented parts of yourself. You are not trying to piece them back together anymore. You are letting them go like old clothes. Your body is becoming a vessel for presence, not a container for the past. You are here to be a channel for wisdom, not to carry burdens. And the awareness coming in now does not need to force its way in. It enters as if it belongs there. Because it does. This is why the disruptions in your life may have felt more intense. It is why your usual distractions no longer work. You are meant to hear the quiet voice of your own soul. You are meant to tune inward instead of numbing outward. This inner state does not tolerate delay. You are not here to manage your potential. You are here to allow it to unfold. So when your palms tingle or your spine feels alive without warning, when tears come in the middle of silence for no logical reason, that is not weakness. That is the inner fire being kindled. The flow of life does not shift quietly when such a profound change is underway. The very air around you can seem to feel different, not heavier, but filled with more meaning. Everything seems to be listening. The trees, your own skin, the silence. And somewhere, beneath the noise of ordinary life, something ancient and wise is beginning to stir within you. This is not just another time of year. It carries a quiet instruction that most will not hear, but that some will. Some are already feeling the steady pull towards something they have not yet named. That curious sense that something profound is happening just beneath the surface of the ordinary. It is not a warning, not a disruption. It is a summons from your own deeper self. Nature has always known how to stir our inner tides. But during this gateway of change, it does not just stir, it speaks. Its light feels sharper, not soft and pale, but clear and golden. As if it is reaching out to those who still remember why they came to this life. This feeling does not just reflect an idea, it reflects a calling. And this one is clear. You are not imagining the palpable shift in the atmosphere. It is not just the weather, it is resonance. A collective spirit aligning with something much deeper. One by one, people are beginning to move with a more profound truth. They do not need to speak of it. Their eyes are enough. They are remembering. This global shift is not something you will read in the news. It is happening in the spaces in between. In the way someone suddenly pauses before they react. In the way hands might tremble before choosing peace over conflict. In the way silence now feels more full than noise ever did. It is not chaos. It is a compression. The final inward breath before a great expansion. This energy does not ask who is prepared. It simply moves. And you either move with it, or you are stretched by its current until you do. And yet, this is not a crisis. It is a course correction. The old maps are being set aside, not to confuse us, but to set us free. You were never meant to navigate your life through layers of distortion. This shift clears the fog that has stood between your instinct and your truth. You might notice it when you look into another person's eyes and see more than just their history. You see their deeper intention, their potential trembling on the very edge of awakening. You might see it on the streets, where people seem to move more slowly, more consciously, as if they are walking through an invisible yet sacred space. The collective is no longer waiting for a leader to follow. It is becoming its own leadership. And this is what happens when enough souls choose awareness over apathy. The ground beneath our feet begins to feel different. Nature seems to lean in closer. The waters reflect clarity instead of turmoil. The world begins to shift its rhythm, not because of some command, but because of an inner alignment. The more people who awaken to their own truth, the less the world can hold on to its illusions. And you are a part of that. Not by chance, not by birthright, but because you are ready. You have journeyed through too much inner silence to not speak from your truth now. You have shed too many layers to ever dim your own light again. And whether you realize it or not, someone is looking to you as their sign that they too can rise. Do not underestimate the power of a single conscious human being walking through the noise without losing their center. It can change entire communities. it can echo into future generations. Your personal journey of awakening is not a private matter. It is a light in the darkness, helping others remember they too can rise. You are not waiting for a better world to arrive. You are becoming the very reason it exists. This flow of deep change does not knock politely. It emerges from within, not to startle, but to awaken. And it does not matter where you are, what you have done, or how long you feel you have been delayed. When this awareness opens, it recognizes those who have been quietly carrying their inner wisdom for years, and it calls them to step forward. The journey is not always clean or poetic. It is often wild, raw, and full of apparent detours. But those detours are not mistakes. They are moments of awakening in disguise. Every time your plans seem to fall apart, you are being guided back into alignment, not into failure. And even when nothing makes sense on the outside, you are building something far stronger on the inside, a clear discernment, not born of judgment or fear, but of a clarity that is no longer shaken by external noise. You are no longer asking, what is going to happen to the world? You are beginning to embody the question, who must I become to help shape it? This is how a new way of being is built. It is built through people who hold their inner state with unapologetic clarity, through quiet teachers, untitled leaders, and hearts that no longer require permission to be wide open. You are not late to this transformation. You are arriving right on time for your part in this great renewal, even when the winds of change shift direction without notice, even when people depart from your life without an explanation, even when your path clears in ways that feel painful before they feel liberating. You are being perfectly positioned. Everything that you once thought delayed you is beginning to reveal itself as preparation. Everything you could not understand is beginning to organize itself into profound wisdom. And while much of the world clings to what is familiar, you are learning to move with the unknown as if it is your oldest and most trusted guide. Because somewhere deep in your being, it is. This is not just an invitation. It is an ignition. And on the world stage, the ones who truly answer the call do not do so with grand announcements. They answer with their embodiment. The world does not change through speeches. It changes through presence. It changes through people who can walk into a room and shift the entire feeling without uttering a single word. Through those who listen more deeply, move more slowly, and choose their own alignment over external applause. That is what this current of change is cultivating. It is not chasing fame, but restoring inner frequency. The kind that does not perform healing, but lives it, breathes it, and shares it in everything they touch. You are no longer healing for aesthetics. You are healing because you remember what it feels like to betray your own inner truth. And you are never going to do that again. That one decision, made with clarity, can rewire the collective field more than any platform ever could. There is something magnetic about a soul that is no longer trying to escape its own depth. And right now, millions of people are turning inward, not for escape, but for access. They are unlocking the very parts of themselves they buried in order to survive. And now, those same parts are rising to help them lead. This powerful season of change brings more than a surge of energy. It brings a profound clarity. Things you have tolerated for years will suddenly seem to lose their power over you. Conversations you used to participate in will simply dissolve. Roles you have played to make others feel secure will feel too heavy to continue carrying. This is not an act of rebellion. It is a deep realignment, and it is not personal. It is a natural unfolding. The very rhythm of life is tuning people back into their own true nature, stripping away all the noise that has kept them feeling only half alive. You will start to see it in the smallest of moments, in the quiet pause after someone speaks their truth for the very first time, in the way that eyes can meet and hold a gaze without fear, in the way music seems to have a deeper impact because you are finally present enough to truly hear it. This is the kind of change that doesn't become a passing trend. It grows deep roots. It is lasting and unshakable because it is being built inside of you, not outside of you. Even the chaos you may see in the world is responding to this. Not resisting it, but responding. As more light and awareness enter our collective space, everything that cannot hold that clarity naturally rises to the surface, not as a punishment, but to be seen and transformed. Every falsehood becomes louder, so that truth can be chosen with freedom. Every distortion becomes more uncomfortable, so that alignment can become irresistible. You may have moments where you question absolutely everything. That is not a collapse. That is an initiation. You are not breaking. You are becoming. And you are not alone in this process. You are part of an unseen current of souls who have never needed uniforms or titles. You carry this wisdom through your kindness, through your clear boundaries, through the way you show up with integrity, even when no one is watching to applaud you. This is the real revolution. It is quiet, relentless and sovereign, rooted in devotion, not in a need for recognition. And this period of awakening has no interest in temporary highs. It is not here to stir a fleeting moment of inspiration. It is here to rewire destiny, the kind of destiny you do not chase, but remember. The kind you activate not by trying to change the world, but by changing your own inner state within it. Every step you take in self-trust changes the collective experience. Every time you say no to self-abandonment, you open a new path for someone else. Every moment you choose to love without needing conditions sends a powerful signal through the entire web of life. We are doing it. We are rising. This is no longer about spiritual performance. This is about spiritual embodiment. And you have earned your place in this new chapter, not through being perfect, but through your perseverance, through choosing to heal even when it was inconvenient, through facing your own shadows even when they seemed louder than your strengths. Now, you are being called to lead, not the world, but your own vibration. And in doing so, you make space for 1,000 others to do the same. Watch what happens when people start to value their own energy as something sacred. Watch how quickly the illusions crumble when no one gives them energy anymore. Watch how the false lights fade when true light stops apologizing for being seen. You are not here to convince anyone. You are here to embody your truth so clearly that anyone not ready for it simply falls away from your path. And those who are ready will rise right alongside you. There is no more waiting, no more asking for external signs. The energy has already shifted. You are either moving with it or you are helping to anchor it. Both roles are vital. Both are sacred. And while others may still be searching for external proof, you have become it. Do not dilute your presence for the sake of comfort. Do not soften your inner power for the sake of proximity. The ones meant to walk with you in this next chapter will meet you at your true frequency, not at your fragmented self. What you are stepping into now is bigger than you, but it requires all of you. No more pretending you are unsure. You know what you must do. You know who you truly are. Nature knows it too, and it is already guiding you through its phases, like quiet instructions written in light. This is not the end of something. It is the ignition of a new field of consciousness, a network of awakened hearts remembering how to live without shrinking themselves. A current of quiet leadership that does not need followers, only integrity. And as this new awareness finishes unfolding, it will not be the loudest voices that lead. It will be the clearest, the ones who no longer chase after peace, but have become it. So, walk into your day as if you have already arrived, as if you remember what it feels like to move through life's changes without losing your inner alignment. Because on a deeper level, you do. You are not here to wait for change to happen. You are the very presence that allows it to begin and that transforms everything. There is a point on the path where nothing external can sway you anymore. You either anchor your own peace or you do not. These next steps are not about attracting more things into your life. They are about becoming an undeniable match for what already belongs to your highest path. What awakens now is not waiting for the perfect circumstances. It responds to how you show up in the moments in between. When no one is watching, when there is no applause, when the quiet of your own heart asks you to answer without needing proof. This is the kind of season that reveals whether your alignment holds steady even when it is not being rewarded by the outside world. That is where true inner strength takes root, not in what you say, but in what you embody when you think no one is listening. So, these practices are not rituals in the old sense. They are not things you simply do. They are states of being that you enter. And once you enter them, they enter you. They do not just decorate your life, they fundamentally redirect its course. First, reclaim a space for your presence. Choose one part of your day where no one else has access to your energy. Not for distraction, not for overthinking, but for pure presence. No phones, no scrolling, no external input. Simply sit with the version of you that is emerging, without any need to fix or figure anything out. This is where your inner field begins to tune itself effortlessly. The clarity that unlocks during that time is not random, it is intelligent. You will notice your body guiding you toward what it needs. A simple idea may arise with great clarity. An old emotion might surface, not to be fixed, but to be acknowledged as a part of the journey. That is the kind of intelligence this practice awakens. Second, offer your body a moment of deep respect through an act of mindful nourishment. Not indulgence, but intention. Choose a simple food, a tea, a fruit, something that comes from the earth. Prepare it with care. Do not consume it while distracted. Offer it to yourself with the same reverence you would offer it to someone you deeply respect, because your body remembers every single time you rushed it, ignored it, or treated it as a machine. This time, offer it reverence. Do not do this because it is a trend or for some external goal. Do it because your body is the most ancient temple you will ever inhabit, and it is listening very closely right now. Third, instead of rituals with objects, walk through your living space and speak your intentions into the very air. Speak as if the walls themselves are listening. State the new standards for your life out loud. Say clearly what you are no longer available for. Name what you are now ready to welcome, not as a desperate request, but as a calm recognition of what is already yours. Let the clarity of your voice mark your space. Make your own presence the ceremony. What this does is not about sound, it is about your signature. Your inner state lingers in every room you enter, long after you leave. This act teaches your environment who you are now, so it can begin to reflect that truth back to you in unexpected ways. These are not steps on a checklist. They are gateways for your alignment to become solid and real. You do not need a special cosmic event to do them. You do not need a philosophy to explain them. You only need one thing: your willingness to show up as the version of you that no longer shrinks. So, take off the costume. Not the physical one, but the energetic one. The one that made other people feel comfortable at your own expense. The one that diluted your wisdom so that you could remain light. The one that nodded eyes, even when your entire soul was screaming no. It served a purpose. It protected what you were not yet ready to share. But now, it is time. This stage of your journey does not require permission. It requires clarity. So, clear your energetic space, not with rituals, but with refusal. Refuse to carry what is not yours to carry. Refuse to entertain energies that pull you out of your center. Refuse to explain your inner state to anyone who is still learning to hear their own. That is integration. Making decisions that match your deepest alignment, not your old wounds. Let your day shape itself around that kind of quiet devotion. Do not feel you must finish healing before you can act. Begin anyway. The path will unfold to meet your intention. Momentum will find you in the middle of your movement. Your ancestors did not pass this wisdom down to you so that you could analyze it. They passed it to you so that you could become it. So that you could live with the kind of simple honesty that dissolves a falsehood in a room without ever needing to point it out. Now is the time to make direct eye contact with your own life. Stop looking toward the horizon, waiting for a destination. You are already standing inside the very state of being you once prayed for. You just have not called it by its real name yet. So name it, claim it, and move from it. And whatever you do next, Do it as if your energy is the announcement. No candles are needed, no mantras are required. The ceremony is in the way you rise each day. The ritual is in how you no longer feel the need to explain your intuition. The magic is in how you hold your own inner state, even when it would be far easier to blend in with the crowd. You have spent enough time dimming your light so that others could remain comfortable. Now, your only task is to protect your own expansion as if it is sacred, because it is. Do not ask the universe to confirm your worth. You are the confirmation. You have already done the difficult inner work in silence. Now, you simply live like it, and everything around you will eventually adjust to match the truth you have finally decided to honor. Some days do not demand your attention. They simply move through the world like signals. This time carries that kind of subtle power. The quiet inner shift is not waiting to be noticed, but it is observing who is truly ready. And as this current of awareness grows stronger, a different kind of knowing arises within you. Not loud, not dramatic, but simply undeniable. You are not imagining it. You are aligning with it. I will move with this flow. That statement is not decoration. It is direction. If this message has mirrored something deep within you, pass it along to someone who is walking their own quiet path of change right now. Not for attention, but for alignment. That is how the right people find what they did not know they were looking for. You have made it this far without shrinking yourself to fit into a smaller version of your life. That fact alone is proof of your strength. And no matter what happens next, you are not returning to the version of you that had to constantly second guess its own inner light. Hold steady. You are woven into something far larger than timing, much louder than signs. Your inner wisdom sees it. This profound season amplifies it. And the next chapter of your journey already knows your name.